So, what if I told you that there's something out there in the cosmos, something so huge, so perfectly shaped, that according to everything we know, it just shouldn't exist? Well, astronomers have found exactly that, a structure that challenges our most basic ideas about how the universe works. Today, we're diving into a discovery that might just force us to rewrite the rules of cosmology. To really get why this discovery is so shocking, we have to start with a pretty simple question. On the biggest possible scale, what does the universe actually look like? For more than 100 years, scientists were pretty sure they had the answer. But this new finding, well, it's threatening to blow that whole idea apart. Okay, so before we get to the giant impossible object, we first need to understand the one major rule that it breaks. See, all of modern cosmology, pretty much everything we think we know, is built on this single, really elegant idea about what the universe is like on a grand scale. And that idea is called the cosmological principle. Basically, it says that if you zoom out far enough, the universe is pretty much the same everywhere. It's evenly spread out, and it looks the same no matter which direction you look. Think of it like a sandy beach, right? Up close, you see all the individual grains and shells, but from way up in a helicopter, it just looks like a smooth, uniform blanket. This principle has been the absolute bedrock of our models of the cosmos, until now. Because what astronomers have found is basically a grain of sand that's the size of the entire beach. They've discovered something that is the complete opposite of smooth and uniform, a structure so enormous it completely shatters the cosmological principle. In early 2024, the news dropped and just stunned the astronomical community. They announced the discovery of this massive structure of galaxies and galaxy clusters, and they gave it a very simple name, the Big Ring. And this thing, this cosmic behemoth, is unbelievably far away. Get this, the light from the Big Ring has been traveling for 9.2 billion years just to reach our telescopes. That means we're seeing it as it was when the universe was only about half as old as it is today. It's like looking at a photograph from the deep cosmic past. But it's the sheer scale of this thing that is just mind-bending. The Big Ring has a diameter of 1.3 billion light-years. Okay, let's try to wrap our heads around that. Our own Milky Way galaxy, which feels impossibly vast to us, is about 100,000 light-years across. You could line up 13,000 Milky Ways end to end just to cross this one structure. It's colossal, almost beyond our ability to imagine. And the name Big Ring is actually a bit of a simplification. Yeah, from our point of view here on Earth, it looks like a near-perfect circle in the sky. But when you analyze the data, it's actually a three-dimensional structure. It's more like a giant coil or a corkscrew that happens to be pointed right at us. And the mystery just keeps getting deeper, because it turns out it's not alone. See, back in 2021, the very same astronomer discovered another enormous structure called the Giant Arc, and it's in the exact same cosmic neighborhood. They're like cosmic siblings. We see them at the same distance, and they're separated by just a tiny sliver of the night sky. The odds of two of these monster structures just happening to be so close together are incredibly tiny, which suggests they might even be part of an even bigger, connected system. So you might be wondering, how in the world do you even spot something that massive and that far away? I mean, it's not like you can just point a telescope and snap a picture of it. The discovery itself is a fantastic piece of cosmic detective work. And the lead detective in this case was Alexia Lopez, a PhD student at the University of Central Lancashire. Incredibly, she's the person who uncovered not just the Big Ring, but the Giant Arc as well, all using this really clever and elegant technique. So here's how she did it. Lopez used distant quasars, which are these super bright, active galactic cores, as sort of cosmic lighthouses. As the light from these quasars travels for billions of years to get to us, it passes through clouds of gas that hang around other galaxies. This gas, specifically a type of ionized magnesium, absorbs very specific frequencies of that light, and it leaves behind a unique fingerprint. So by mapping out thousands of these little absorption fingerprints, she was able to trace the hidden outline of this gigantic, otherwise invisible structure. Pretty brilliant, right? And that brings us right to the heart of the problem. This amazing discovery isn't just a cool thing to know about. No, it's a direct challenge to the very foundations of modern cosmology. According to our standard model of the universe, there is a theoretical size limit for how big any single structure can be. That limit is about 1.2 billion light-years. And as you can see, the Big Ring just casually strolls right past that limit. So why does that limit even exist in the first place? Well, it all comes down to time. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. That's it. And gravity, even with all that time, can only pull matter together so fast. For a structure as ridiculously enormous as the Big Ring to form, it would have needed more time than the universe has actually been around. It's like finding a fully grown 1,000-year-old redwood tree that's only 1 day old. It's impossible based on what we know. I mean, don't just take my word for it. The discoverer herself, Alexia Lopez, put it perfectly. The Big Ring and its neighbor, the giant arc, are just not easy to explain with our current theories. She calls them oddities that we absolutely cannot ignore. So if our standard theories are coming up short, what on earth could possibly explain this thing? This is where science gets really fun and creative, pushing us into the realm of the speculative and, frankly, the extraordinary. Okay, one idea they looked at was something called baryonic acoustic oscillations. These are basically giant sound waves or ripples of matter left over from the very early universe. The problem is, those ripples should be spherical, and the ring isn't. So then you get to the more exotic theories. One is cosmic strings, these hypothetical super dense cracks or defects in the fabric of space-time itself, leftovers from the Big Bang. And an even more mind-bending idea, conformal cyclic cosmology. That's a theory suggesting our universe is just one in an endless cycle of universes. In that model, the Big Ring could literally be an echo, a scar, left behind from a universe that existed before ours. Now, of course, good science means being skeptical. Some researchers have argued that maybe the Big Ring is just a statistical fluke, a random alignment of galaxies that our brains see as a pattern, a trick of perception. But the team that found it ran all sorts of statistical tests, and the sheer symmetry of this thing, it's just really, really hard to dismiss as pure chance. So, the Big Ring is so much more than just a new discovery. It's a giant question mark hanging over everything we thought we knew. It tells us that our map of the universe is still seriously incomplete. And it makes you wonder, if a structure this impossible can exist, what other cosmic behemoths are still out there, hiding in plain sight? And what other fundamental rules of the cosmos are just waiting to be broken?